Hey everyone, Danielle here with a little video tutorial for you today showing you how to use our new box die that was just released a few weeks ago. It did sell out rather quickly, but it will be back in stock towards the end of next week, probably around February 5th, so keep an eye out for that. And in the video I'm just going to give you some tips and show you how to fold up your boxes. So this is the die itself. It's fairly large, but that's because we're going to be folding it up for your final projects, and it was designed by Miriam and it is amazing. There are so many fun things you could do with it. And so here's what it's going to look like after you die cut it. And my first tip is to use a good cardstock, a nice weight. 80 pounds, an 80-pound cardstock seems to be the best weight for this. You're going to get nice score lines and it'll be easy to fold. Anything heavier, and you might notice that the score lines aren't quite as crisp and deep, and you might have a little trouble folding, but that's still okay because you could always go in with your bone folder and a ruler and just kind of make them a little deeper, like I'm going to show you right here. So this is my Martha Stewart bone folder, and it's really narrow, which I like for this purpose. This is my Teflon bone folder, and it's just too wide at the top to get into those little score lines. So what I'm going to do is take my ruler, and I'll show you here. Just line it up along those score lines, take your bone folder and run it up and down a few times, and it'll make those score lines a little bit deeper and a little bit easier for you to fold if you were having trouble. Now I'm using 80-pound cardstock right here, so I don't have to go through and score all the lines, and I'm going to start by folding these little tabs that you see on the one side of the box. Now before you go ahead and start folding up your favorite pattern paper, you might want to test this out on a piece of scrap paper just so you can kind of see how everything folds up and make sure it's going to turn out the way you want it before you were to potentially ruin a piece of pattern paper. And after I fold those tabs, I'm just going to go in with my bone folder and push them and smooth them down to get a nice crisp fold. And the next thing I want to do is fold it in half. So there's a nice score line right in the middle, and I'm just going to fold up the front of the box like so. And I'm going to go ahead with my bone folder and do the same thing, just go around all the edges, pressing down to get a nice good fold. You want them to be folded well so that when you do stick them together, when you do adhere the front and the back of the box together, it sticks really well. And the last thing is to fold down these little flaps, and they're already cut down the middle for you when you die cut it. And then I'll take my bone folder and just press them down again to get a nice good fold. So there are score lines on the back side of this box, but they're not quite as they're not popping like I really want them to. This is kind of an OCD thing. So I'm just going to go with my ruler and bone folder and do the same thing, just a few passes back and forth to make those score lines along the back side of the box stand out a little bit more, just to give the box a more, realistic look. You certainly don't have to do this, especially if you're going to be putting something inside the box and you're not even going to see the back. But this is just kind of one of those, like I said, I don't know, sometimes I'm a little OCD about things, and so that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the score line that runs down the middle of the back of the box too. So there you go. So that's what it looks like. And then when it comes to actually adhering your box, like, sticking the front and the back together, there are two ways that you could do it. Using these little tabs. The first is have the tabs tucked inside and kind of sandwich them between the front and the back. This is good if you want a really flat box. If you were mailing it, say, that would be perfect. But if this was going on a card that you were going to hand deliver or put inside of a package, if you wanted the box to have a little kind of pocket in the middle to stick something in, you can take the tabs and actually put them, fold them behind the back of the box. And this is going to give you a little bit more dimension. The box is going to kind of pop open just a little bit and create a little pocket that is large enough to put maybe a gift card or a little, flat piece of chocolate or a little note. And I'll show you with the bone folder. It's kind of hard to see, but there's just a tiny little pocket that you create when you fold the tabs on the back. And you can see I can stick my bone folder right in there. So, like I said, really cool for a gift card or a little note or something like that. And for this video, I'm going to fold them in the middle to make a flat box. Now you might be tempted to reach for your favorite adhesive, like mine is that Scrapbook Adhesives one, which is super sticky, but it is just not enough to hold this box together. The box, I tried to use it and the box wanted to pop open, so score tape is definitely the way to go for these projects, for putting these boxes together. And the first thing that I'm going to do is rip off a couple little pieces of the score tape, and I'm going to adhere down those little tabs that we folded over first. And this is going to help the box get really flat and stay, stay adhered together. So I'm going to peel off the backing of that score tape and then just fold down the little flaps to make them flat, like so. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing around the edges of the back of the box. I'm just going to rip off a couple pieces of score tape, go around the edges of the back of the box, leaving the top of the box open without any adhesive. And then I'm going to fold the box shut. Now you could definitely put adhesive all along the back and fold it shut if you weren't going to be sticking anything on the inside, but I wanted to make a little pocket, so I'm going to leave the middle of the box unadhered. And then I'm just going to push down the sides really well, like so. Fold the flaps down. And you even have two options when you're folding down the flaps. I put a piece of score tape on the back of this left flap so you could adhere it down nice and flat, especially if you were mailing this card, that would be good. But say you wanted to adhere the flap down so it wasn't just kind of, opening and closing all the time, but you still wanted dimension. You could use some foam adhesives and stick it on the back side of that flap so that it would stay in the down position, but it wouldn't be totally flat, so you'd still have some dimension to it. So I'm just going to take two little foam squares, put them on the underside of this flap. You want to position them so you're not going to see them, and then adhere it down. So now again, you have two totally different looks. The one on the left is flat down, and the one on the right is popped up just with a little bit of foam dimensional, so you get a little bit of depth to your card. Both of them look really great. If you were mailing it, again, the left might be the option that you go for. But either way, I think that it looks pretty cool. So thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I know the box dies are sold out right now, but check back the end of next week. Thanks for watching.